Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. County Commission is now in session. The Honorable Chair, Ben Rogers, presides. All those here tonight present having business before this commission. Draw nigh, come forward, and ye shall be heard. God bless this great United States and the state of Tennessee. God bless Putnam County and this honorable commission. Mr. Chairman, I find these premises to be in order, and I so yield to the chair.
Thank you, Major. Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate you very much. This evening, the invocation is going to be brought to us by District 2.
Let us pray. The Lord, thank you for this beautiful day. We come before you humbly tonight, seeking the insight, strength, to help carry on the business of Putnam County. We ask you to forgive us of our personal failures and support our efforts to be good citizens, indeed good people. We ask you to comfort those in pain or in grief or in turmoil, and to grant us peace. Through Christ our advocate. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Clerk, when you're ready, please call the roll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take your handsets and press yes, and just stop right there. Everybody press yes, and stop right there, please. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 present. You have 1 absent, 1 vacancy. There is a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Item number 5 on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any discussion on our current agenda? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have approved agenda. Item number 6, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, a second. Any discussion on the minutes of the previous meeting? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We have minutes. Number 7, unfinished business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Number 1, Planning Committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you, sir. Fiscal Review Committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you, ma'am. Nominating Committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you, sir. B, report of special committees. All right. Any other unfinished business? All right. New business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. We'll start with Planning Committee.
Mr. Chairman, Planning Committee recommends approval of the list of vehicles to be sold via internet public auction for the Sheriff's Department as follows, and you have a list of those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, second. Any discussion on this property? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Item B, Mr. Chairman, Planning Committee recommends approval of the list of vehicles to be sold via internet public auction for the Fire Department as follows, and those are on your list.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, second on these 2 items. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Item C, Mr. Chairman, discuss selling the Old Bridge property.
All right, as it came to committee, it came as a recommendation to sell. The only thing I would ask, if you're making a motion to sell it tonight, we didn't clearly state how you would like for this to be sold. The process was laid out by the mayor. It's via internet auction, public auction, sealed bid, or as we have done in the past, and we started, I guess, over a year ago, allowing the mayor to negotiate, which is still public. Everybody still has the right to inquire about it. There's nothing being hidden. He gets an offer this way. He brings it back to us, and we do the final approval.
I'll make that motion that we sell the property that way that he did the Shawnee's Hill.
I'll second that.
Got a motion second. Any discussion on that? Hit your button, Commissioner Williams. Thank you, sir. All right, Commissioner Williams.
I guess just a technical question. We're not really voting to sell this. We're simply voting to declare this surplus property. Is that correct?
Well, we have to declare it surplus, and that's part of the motion. The motion is to sell, but, I mean, if it don't sell, it don't sell. So, unless you want to amend it.
No, if it's part and included, then that's fine.
Okay.
Whatever the highest offer I get is, will be brought back to you at a future commission meeting, and you decide whether to take it or not.
One last thing. How much land is it?
It's about a quarter of an acre. 75 foot by about 150 foot is pretty small.
Good? Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Facento.
Yeah, I said this in the committee. I just want to make sure that whatever process the mayor goes through, it becomes well known that the property's for sale. I don't, want to see it where, one or two people get a bid, we vote on it, pass it, and a lot of people that live in that area come back and we're like, hey, I didn't know it was for sale. So,
It'll go as a legal notice in the Herald Citizen. I'll put it out on Facebook and so forth, and everybody have an opportunity to bid on it.
State law prohibits us from selling it privately where there's, a private deal going. So whatever he comes back with, we'll bring to the full commission. We'll vote again. Thank you for the comments. Any other discussion? Okay. We can voice vote tonight, and then later on we'll do a roll call. So we're going to vote for tonight. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes planning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you. Fiscal Review Committee.
Thank you. First item up is A, recommends approval of budget amendments to the county general fund, and I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on those amendments? All right, Mr. Clerk, we do have to do a roll call since it involves money.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote, and it will stop you automatically right there. Commissioner Phibbs. Vote. There you go. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right. Just a second, Madam Chair. Madam Chairman, we have 22 voting yes, 1 absent, 1 vacancy. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, recommends approval of budget amendments to the general purpose school fund, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these amendments? All right, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? You're doing great. Madam Chairman, we have 22 voting yes, 1 absent, 1 vacancy. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, recommends approval for Putnam County to apply for a grant up to $10,000 for the Sheriff's Office to apply for training equipment for adult correction facilities, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? So we're applying for a grant. There's no reason to do a roll call, so we can do a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
All right. Item D, recommends approval for the county to purchase a small tract of land in the business park jointly with the city of Cookeville, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? All right, when you're ready, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right. Madam Chair, you have 22 voting yes, 1 absent, 1 vacancy. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item E, recommends approval of a MOU between the county and Double Springs for the Martin Creek Water Project, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the MOU with Double Springs Utility? Mr. Commissioner Facento.
Yeah, there was some discussion about the length of the terms of the fee earlier, and it's in the contract on number 3, and I just want to be clear, we're fixed for 10 years at $3,000, regardless of how many people sign up. And then it appears at the end of 10 years, they're going to evaluate it, and based off of the percentage of the increase in the bills, that it could potentially then go on for another 5. So,
It could. And that's all depending on us having ARP funds left. I mean, everybody thinks that the growth in that area, I mean, it's going to take it a few years above the people that just live there now. I think the growth in the area will more than be enough to fund their operations once they have a few years to get by. So I think after that 10.
from the way I read the contract, Mayor, if they were to break even in 3 years, we're still committed to pay for 10.
We're still committed to 10 because of the quality of the water and the amount of depreciation and maintenance they have on those lines. If this project is $1.8 million, with our match is about $2 million, then they're going to set aside $2 million in their budget for depreciation and maintenance of those lines. For a little bit small utility district, that's a pretty heavy lift. And so this was the only way that we could see the way to make it happen. So that $3,000 a month will go towards all of that, and then once that 10-year period is over, more than likely it'll go away unless just something major happens and there's no growth in that area. That'll be up to the commission in 10 years and to look at it with Double Springs.
So it's a $360,000 commitment.
Basically, we're setting aside that amount in the ARP funds to make sure that this happens.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Moss.
Mayor, who will be in charge of this project?
County Commission.
The money part of it, about, of course, who do the construction, be the contractor?
Oh, no, we'll put that out for bid. Once TDEC approves the project, $1 million of it is Jackson County, $1.8 million is Putnam County. We bid out the projects, and then they'll be awarded. It'll fall under me as far as construction goes until the project is complete. Once the project is complete, then those lines are turned over to Double Springs. They become their property, and we start this $3,000 a month agreement with them.
So who's going to keep an eye on this project? Is anybody other than us? You?
Me, engineers that we've got hired to do the project. There's a whole group of folks, the Double Springs folks, they're engineers. There'll be a lot of eyes on them.
Well, you know, that's my area, and I just want to know who to point his finger at, you know?
Point them at me.
Okay.
Commissioner Wilson.
Mayor Porter, how long do you expect the construction timeline to be once you get started? Do you have an estimate?
I would hope within 12 months after we award the bid. A lot of it, Commissioner Wilson, is going to depend on the number of contractors that we get to bid on it. You know, there's a shortage of pipe right now, and there's a shortage of contractors. We did really good on the Green Mountain project, but we're hoping this one goes as good as that one, but that's totally a guess.
Estimated timeline of when it goes out for bid?
I think by the time the state approves it and we're going out for bid, it'll be sometime towards the end of the year or first of next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk, you please call the roll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone take your handsets and please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Madam Chairman, we have 22 voting yes, 1 absent, 1 vacancy. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item F, recommends approval of the microvote contract for the election office, and I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
Yeah, there are questions.
Commissioner Wilson.
Is this the machine that's got the paper on the inside to make sure that you can track that? Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Now, we'll do a roll call because we are spending the money first, and then we get reimbursed by the state. So we will do a roll call. So, Mr. Clerk?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Done great. Thank you so very much. Madam Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 absent, 1 vacancy. Motion carries. Mr. Moss?
Chairman,
Who missed him?
there's several people in my district who want me to try to find another voting place other than just the one down at the middle school. I'd like everybody's help on this in my district. If you know of a place that might be able to hold an election with all the requirements that it requires, please help me out, would you?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to nominating committee. I'm sorry.
There's no, it's okay, there's no.
Did you finish up, Ms.? Go ahead, I'll let you.
Thank you. That concludes fiscal review.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I apologize. Nominating committee.
There are no meetings for nominating this week.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, moving on to report of special committees. All right, resolutions,
There's no resolution, Mr. Chairman.
election of notaries.
There we go. Got a long list. Rebecca L. Anderson, Susan Bell, Jerry W. Carmack, Melissa Dempsey, Jennifer L. Dunn, Marcy R. Groves, Hannah Hagan, Nicholas A. Hamby, Cadence Henry, Morgan Johnson, Brendan Johnson, Tanisa Jones, Lena Koger, Carol Lambert, Jennifer Lefevre, Jose Martinez, Paige Mercerk, Michelle Maynard, Richard Lane Moore, Loretta Qualls, Jennifer R. Queen, Loretta Sebula, Renita Summers, Erica Swafford, Melanie Stewart, Darlene Uthras, William N.L. Wheeler, and last, Tammy J. Wiggins.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on notaries. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call. Mr. Clerk, when you're
All right,
ready.
ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets and just press yes for me, if you would, please. We don't have to. Mr. Chapman. All right, done great. Thank you so much. It's just basically an approval after my office has already approved. Got 22 voting yes, 1 absent, and 1 vacancy. That motion carries, Mr. Chair.
All right. Other new business. Recognize the reappointment of James A. Daniel to the Old Gainsborough Road Utility District Board term to expire October 3rd, 2026. We're just recognizing that. There's no vote. Okay. Announcements and statements. Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know from my emails and from the announcements, we lost our Monterey City Mayor, Nathan Walker, which was a total shock to most everyone. He was diagnosed recently with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and if you know anything about pancreatic cancer, by the time usually you know you've got it, it's too late. And so there's going to be a memorial service for him this Wednesday night, 5 to 7 at the Monterey Community Center. I think they're going to have most of the talking at about 6 o'clock, but you're welcome to come earlier if you want to. In lieu of flowers, the family had asked me to announce that the new soccer complex that we're going to build in Monterey is one of his pet projects that he really wanted to see happen. He has 2 children, one 11 and one 14. They lost their mom about a year ago from COVID, and so it's just a sad situation. They asked that if anyone wanted to make a donation in lieu of flowers, at One Bank, which is the old Bank of Putnam County, now One Bank of Tennessee, they've set up a memorial fund that would go towards the soccer complex, and I don't know exactly what all Monterey City's planning on doing with it, but it will go towards that in his memory. Just pray, ask y'all that y'all would keep his children and his family in your prayers. It's got to be, it's just a terrible tragedy, and he was a great guy, and he's going to be terribly missed, so I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is to thank the Parks and Rec Department. They're not here, but for all the decorations around the courthouse and the way the courthouse looks, they've done an outstanding job. Did I miss anybody on that? Was it Parks and Rec? Okay, so thank them. Any more business announcements? Motion to adjourn.
I got a quick question.
You got a question? Go ahead, sir.
I saw in the Herald Citizen that the school board was going to be approaching us for more funds for a school. Did I see that in the paper?
We were asked,
Thank you.
that motion adjourned? We are adjourned. Thank you. Everybody have a good evening.